Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chris Peterson. I'm a graduate student in the Comparative Media Studies program here at MIT, and a member of the Board of Directors of the National Coalition Against Censorship. The theme that we have here today is the story and the algorithm, but I'd like to tell you a story about algorithms. If you reach back into the recesses of your mind, you may recall an ancient website named Dig. Now, Dig was founded on the premise that popular opinion, mediated through a voting algorithm, could float good content to the top and sink bad content to the depths. But in 2009, a group of Dig users called the Dig Patriots formed an organization. Their mission, as described by a founding member, was to strategically vote on content in order to shape the political education that Dig delivered. Now, the Dig Patriots tracked and buried links about global warming, economic inequality, gay marriage, even articles about their own existence, exchanging over 13,000 posts over 18 months before an expose drove them deep underground. Now, this strategic behavior, where users repurpose algorithms to remove content from the flow of conversation, has emerged across almost every major social intermediary. I call it user-generated censorship. I'd like to tell you why. Now, we often talk about the user-generated web as if it were an uncomplicatedly good thing. And that's understandable because, generally speaking, facilitating the communication and speaking and sharing of individuals on the internet is a pretty good thing. But when we say the user-generated web, what we really mean is a collection of tools, systems, and design practices that enable people to create and evaluate the content they're consuming. And these same tools, designs, and systems are now being employed to remove conversation as well. Now, these social media sites are interesting precisely because they delegate the curatorial power to their audiences. But the same algorithms which make them valuable make them vulnerable to subversion. This is the dark side of adding users to your feedback loop. It empowers them not only to produce and evaluate and talk about your content, but also to subvert it and remove it from your discovery engine and from the ensuing conversation. Now, why call it censorship? Censorship is often thought of as an overbroad reach of a centralized authority. King censor, Pope censor, local board censor, and they all draw their power from their office and position. And that's why when we talk about internet censorship, we're so often preoccupied in focusing on preventing the leaders of large institutions like Google or China or Google in China from imposing their institutional will. But this association of censorship with the centralized authority confuses a political practice with the historic structures of technology and information flow that enabled it. The core evil of censorship is about silencing the flow of ideas and conversation, and that's exactly what we're seeing in this space. The Dig Patriots had no centralized authority, but by strategically repurposing the algorithms that controlled and shaped the flow of information, they could, from a decentralized position, shape the experience of the users of the site. Let me bring this home to the journalists in the audience. Last June, about a year ago, Facebook began blocking links to the website j30strike.org because it had been flagged as abusive or spammy. But Facebook's algorithms did not only block J30Strike, they also blocked websites which linked to J30Strike when they reported on the initial block. They were censoring and blocking not only the content, but the reporting and the commentary and the conversation around the content. Now, we experience social media sites as ways to communicate with our friends directly, but they are spaces constructed by algorithms, and the strategic manipulation of these algorithms allows third parties to reach in and prevent these conversations from ever even happening. Now, anyone involved in any way with these intermediaries knows about their fundamental importance in enabling serendipitous discovery and civic communication in these online spaces. But what you should also know is that they are being gamed, that there's no clear social or technological solution to stop the gaming, and that most people will never even know what they never knew because this all occurs invisibly. I'd like to speak with anybody here who's involved with the creation of these technologies or with their propagation or who understands the history of information flows and their structures, to try and figure out how to grapple with these problems. Because the rise of user-generated censorship threatens not only the integrity of our civic communications and conversations, but the very conversations that we're capable of having. Thank you.